Good evening. Happy Monday, almost Tuesday. You already know what time it is. It's Beast of the East time here on the Bleav Podcast Network, and also coming at you on y'all's conference network on the video side of it. Joining me is Vinny Hardy, Israel Troupe. What's up, gentlemen?
What up?
Look like you just got back from the gym, Israel. We were just chatting. Your wife kicked your butt.
She ripped me a new one. No pun intended. It was awful. This whole being a D1 athlete type stuff is real fun until you get 33 and gray hair and you try to get back in shape. It's not real fun.
I'll see you're 38 and I'll raise you. I'll see you're 33. Pardon me. I'll raise you 38 and playing basketball with the kids thinking I'm freaking LeBron James. And
I hope you stretch first, because if you're like me, it's going to hurt tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Man, it took me – I felt like it took me an hour to get off the couch.
Yeah.
No comment. No comment. Y'all still in y'all's 30s, so no comment on none of this age stuff.
I just made the mistake thinking I could – today was a PE day for me. I have PE every other day based on my class schedule. So today was a PE day. We played a little Olympic handball and then gave them some free time. So they
Olympic handball is where it's at now.
Ooh,
like
they love
handball
it now.
At any point.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna do that to our kids tomorrow. I might introduce it tomorrow.
It's good. It's good. It's a lot of fun. The kids think they don't like it, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they like to complain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, we are the Beast of the East here on the Bleav Podcast Network. Lots to talk about. Vinny, big congratulations there. Somebody had to take care of business on the hardwood this weekend. Kentucky beating down Kansas. We'll get into that. We're going to check in on the Missouri Tigers and the Florida Gators later on. I don't even know if they exist as a basketball program. I know Georgia doesn't. We're going to check in on Tom Crean. We dogged them. They won. We gave them some credit, and they lost again. They didn't only lose; they got their ass handed to them. So, and then of course the NFL playoffs. We're going to talk about that a little bit. The AFC, NFC championships. Who we got? What we think? Give our early look at Super Bowl. Was it 56 nowadays?
Yeah,
these days, something like that.
Yeah, and something like that. Yeah,
LVI or something, whatever.
LV. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody paid attention on Roman numeral day. Certainly wasn't me.
Neither this guy either.
Well, we are presented by Betonline. There might be less football being played, but Betonline has way more stuff to bet on this playoff season, from score totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land. There's still some props out there for some of the unhired positions. BetOnline is the number one sports for all things NFL betting in 2022. And with the new year comes a new updated desktop and mobile website to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV to get started. And it's not just football. BetOnline's basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC odds coverage is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your number one wagering destination. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. So, fellas, where does the game start here? Let's start with Kentucky. We're going to lead off with basketball, ironically. Kentucky, man, like, you had to have, Vinny, when you got home Saturday, right? When you pulled up in front of the TV and said, "Okay, I'm gonna turn this thing on, watch Kentucky." Did you expect 80-62?
No, and we've been saying it. If they're healthy, you like their chances against everybody, because he lost at Auburn, but the backcourt was hurt. Injury bug's kind of been biting. Y'all know it's part of it. Lost at LSU, backcourt was hurt. Wheeler and Washington both go out of both of those games when Kentucky is controlling both of those games. So you kind of get that incomplete grade. If both of those guys are healthy, Kentucky win those games, you got to like their chances. So We just look. My thing was like, look, get healthy now for March. Just be healthy, and I like their chances against anybody. Hadn't won at Kansas, which they don't play out there every year, but hadn't won at Kansas since 1983. Cal was an assistant out there. He was young, wet behind the ears, almost still pimply faced. You can see there's pictures of him circulating around from when he was back in there, just starting out as a coach. And to say, to see them go out there and have a lead and kind of punch Kansas in the mouth and not be really intimidated by the environment, well, they did the same thing at Auburn, and then you had everybody get injured. So it wasn't a surprise to see them play well, but to then dominate Kansas, who never loses out there. I mean, we don't lose at Rupp much either, but they never, ever lose at Allen Fieldhouse. And then to be up 20 at halftime, to put a 50-piece on them in the first half, it was unbelievable. Keon Brooks, who's a lot of people have been on him.
Yeah.
People been on him all year, kind of dogging him out. 27 points in 29 minutes. He only took 16 shots. He wasn't out there jacking it up. 9 of 10 from the free throw line, and he hit the glass too, because they tried to kind of box Sheboy out, who still had a double-double, because that's just what he does. But Keon Brooks was hitting that glass and getting in there, mixing it up on the boards too. So it was, and to, Ty Washington, who hurt his ankle, wondered if he even play. He was out the previous game against Mississippi State. And Davion Mintz, those two guys only get 2 points between them, and you still beat Kansas by 20 on the road. That was unbelievable. Just took them apart, man.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, just kind of glancing out on this game, and I know you were excited, and I know the fans were excited in the Ravon Sports chat. We were I was hosting the live Kentucky, Kansas, and Georgia Vanderbilt are happening simultaneously. I was somehow hosting the Georgia Vanderbilt chat. I kind of just jumped in there. I know, right? What was I doing on Saturday night?
Blood for punishment.
Man, it must have been a really boring night. But anyway, so I was hosting that, and I jumped in there, and I thought I was just going to jump in and kind of give a boost to Vinny, and I realized he wasn't hosting. But there was a lot of great feedback. I think a lot of people are very high on Keon Brooks, and just watching what little bit I watched of that game for stretches of it. I mean, it just looked like Kansas wasn't even there. It just looked like it was a 5-on-5 practice session for Kentucky, man. It was just, so many things were going right for them. They were just dominating. They were up and down the floor, clamping down defense, getting boards, moving the ball around, just all around great play from Kentucky. I was thoroughly impressed, and I was just refreshed to see real basketball for once.
There was a lot of, which I think I said this before, Cincinnati is kind of the unofficial, official pro sports city for Kentucky, especially Northern Kentucky, even where I was from. So there were some Kentucky fans that did the basketball game in Kansas trip and then pop on over to Kansas City for the Bengals Chiefs, which we'll talk about later too. But at the end of the game, the basketball game Saturday, you had about 6 minutes left. Kansas fans starting to walk out and head for the exits, and you don't see that. And there was a lot of Kentucky fans, which there was a "Go Big Blue" chant that came through over the TV in Lawrence, Kansas. But there were Kansas fans there that were like, we never leave early, but we are leaving today, and that's how bad it was for them. It was brutal for Kansas. About. Yeah, it was brutal.
You make them tuck their tail, and you make them leave their own place. That's what I'm talking about.
It kind of looks like the Georgia-Florida games when one team dominates the other, and the other side empties out earlier than usual, and then all you hear is the other team's chant.
Yes.
So
it sounds just like that.
Israel, did you check this one out at all? Did you watch any
I
basketball?
did. I watched it a little bit. It was my anniversary this weekend, so
Oh, that's right. You were at the beach.
I
How was that?
was in 30-degree, 50-mile-an-hour wind chill on Saturday. But
Jesus.
we did a lot of shopping, so we didn't go to the beach.
You didn't do your polar plunge?
Oh no, sir.
Isn't that part of your wife's workout plan, the polar plunge?
No, cuz
So you married to a personal trainer?
no, she thinks she is the I don't want to be like the fat head coach. Whenever you become a head coach, you notice that you see Kirby and his coordinator days, you see Kirby now, and it's like night and day. Like I never want to get like to be the big head coach. So I'm trying to have my hot boy summer right now.
I'm dangerously close to that.
No, not at all. But I did watch the Kansas. I watched a little bit of it at the restaurant that we were at. They had a TV up, and when I watched it, Kentucky was up by like 30 at one point. I mean, it was real quick, but they were up by 30. I was like, wait a minute, is that real? When I looked at the TV, it was right before halftime. And I told my wife, I was like, this ain't never happened at Kansas. Like you see Kansas head coach, I think it's Coach Self, right? I think that's his name.
Yeah, Bill Self.
Correctly. Yeah, and he's like, he doesn't even know what to do. He's like, he calls a timeout and he just throws his hands. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, they just came out firing. I mean, from what I saw, it was just one of them nights. It's just a bad night for Kansas and a good night for Kentucky. And there's nothing. And one thing about basketball, there's really nothing you can do when a team's on. Like you just got to take it. Like they're hitting everything. I mean, guys who usually produce aren't, but guys who don't normally produce are producing. And they're hitting everything, from the parking lot. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Absolutely nothing.
No, there isn't. There really isn't. So, I mean, what's next for Kentucky? I mean, who do y'all have this week?
They have Vanderbilt at home Wednesday.
Dub.
And then Alabama Saturday. So you don't know which Alabama team you're going to get.
No.
Because the one that just played the other night was pretty good. Not the one against Georgia, but I don't know what happened. But
they got pissed off. That's what happened. They said, wait a second.
They have beaten Gonzaga. They've beaten Baylor. But they lost to Georgia and lost to Missouri. And
they hit rock bottom is what they did.
They play down to the bad teams and play up for the good ones. So I'm sure.
So you'll get their best shot.
Yeah, they hit 33s when they play Kentucky. Core.
They hit rock bottom, went to rehab, and got out. Now they're good and they're ready to roll now.
They're just rocking and rolling, man. They're ripping and roaring. So, but when you look at it, Kentucky has Vanderbilt up in the next slate, and that game, Vanderbilt came into this game against Georgia shooting, I think, 44% from the field, which is good for last in the conference, and I don't even want to know where it is in the country. But you look at this game, I want to say at one point they were shooting 62% from the field. I'm going to get an exact number on this here in just a second. But when you look at the numbers, I mean, 85-77, this game was never really close. I mean, they just jumped out. Scottie Pippen, that's right. Scottie Pippen Jr. scored 23 points. He had 9 assists, almost a double-double. They snapped a 3-game losing streak. This was the first time since 2017 they completed a regular season sweep of an SEC opponent. They were 7 of 11. They only took, the impressive part is they were 7 of 11, and they only had to take 11 three-pointers in the first half. They knocked down 12 of 23 overall. They shot 63% from the floor. They were nice. They were just on, man. And what stood out to me was that, and I haven't really followed them as closely, but they just looked like they were in sync with each other. The ball movement, the communication on the defensive end of the floor as well, the communication to kind of keep Georgia from getting easy shots. And Georgia, I made this comment in the Ravon chat that Georgia looked like my PE class trying to play 5-on-5. I mean, it was brutal. Like that. Like I have this one kid that, like, no matter what, he's gonna dribble between his legs twice, and then he's gonna do that little James Harden scoot back, and he's gonna pop a three. Every single time. And I felt like Georgia was just playing ball like they're in PE class. I mean, there was no sense of urgency. There was no sense of direction. Didn't really know what was going on. Got dominated on the boards. Defensively, they were lost. It just Israel. I know we pump a little sunshine. We try to say things are good, but they're just not.
Sometimes you got to stop trying to turn SHIT into chicken salad, and you just gotta let it go. You just gotta let it go. I mean, you have a big win against Alabama, which I said, me and you said this. Watch, we beat Alabama, and we come back and get our eyes beat out the very next game, and I'll be dang if it didn't happen. Israel,
you're just a fortune teller, man. What are the lotto numbers this week?
I was about to say I gotta start playing the lottery.
I know, man.
All this knowledge I'm giving everybody, man, is just I gotta start reaping the benefits.
Call the games this weekend and everything, man. Like what?
I was off by a point.
Who are you
in the AFC game? 1 point. When you text me, I knew I had a good feeling, and if they scored a touchdown, we'd won.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But we won in general, but still.
Yeah, that was the only thing, and I think you and I took the same bet. Because I texted you early on Sunday morning saying, hey, I want to take the Bengals and the Rams. I want to take the over and the under, respectively, in those games. And you're like, yeah, I was like, is that what you like? And you said, yep. So I took it. And we missed it by 1
point.
1 point. 1 point. So
it gets you every time. That was such a good game there.
It was. So back and forth. Just it got off to, and we'll get to it in a little bit later. But it was really good. To finish up our basketball talk, Auburn dismantling Oklahoma, Texas Tech doing the same to Mississippi State. The battle for the real UT looks like Texas is the real UT, at least this year. They were victorious 52-51. The
rock fight.
It was absolutely a rock fight. It looks like
51-35, and then Tennessee goes on a 16-0 run to tie it, and then Texas has the last possession. Tennessee fouls. He hits one free throw, so Texas wins 52-51.
They're 2-4 in the conference. How are they still ranked, by the way?
They were 22nd when Kentucky beat them by 30. I thought that would have put them
now.
Yeah, I don't
They upgraded.
I don't understand.
Dude, what the world?
Huh?
See, that's why I don't understand basketball. I'll never understand.
They're 2-4. They only got one more conference win than Georgia. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is what turns me off.
They're ranking off potential.
I guess so.
Yeah, some of those voters, because Kentucky beat North Carolina, earlier in the season, beat them by 25, 28, and AP voters still had North Carolina ranked ahead of Kentucky. It was, did you not watch what just happened head to head? Do you not see this?
Same with LSU. LSU's 2-4. They're 19th.
Yeah,
they got shellacked. Sort of. Mm-hmm. They got shellacked by TCU. Missouri getting destroyed by Iowa State. See, here's the thing. Iowa State's 23. Guess what their conference record is? 12-2. There's got to be some freaking typos around here somewhere.
In the conference?
Yeah, this is 12
14 conference games already?
Yeah, this is 12-2. This can't be right. This can't be right. As I'm like burying my face into the this can't be right.
Somebody's getting fired.
Somebody at ESPN said, "Screw it." What's going on with Missouri? Like, what is up with them? I know I said we're going to check on them, but I mean they got demolished by Iowa State on the road. But I mean they're 1-6,
and They're one.
They
I
might
think
be
it was against
having the same
Alabama.
problems we are.
Yeah,
Lord. Yeah.
beat Alabama and then just
I can't wait to get to Missouri so we can at least not finish dead last. At least just don't finish dead last. That's all I ask.
yeah.
And then you can,
The battle of the walking wounded that game.
yeah,
Hey man, how bad do you want it?
I know, right? Hey, walk-on guys. It's going to be a walk-on game, like when the equipment managers play against each other. So it's what's going to be.
I tell you what they should do: go get some of the football players and put them on the team. I bet Georgia win. Think about this: if you took Boykin, TK, me, Marlon, Momass,
Just take the receiver
Kenneth
room.
Harris,
Just take the receiver room when you
put
played
all
Israel.
us on the team, man, we'd have been dominating people.
Dude, y'all be throwing oops to Brandon Boykin. I remember watching him in high school. Like I said, I graduated with his older brother. His older brother is taller and could jump about the same. And his older brother was jamming all over the place. See, we took on the persona of the Cameron Crazies, but we all wore like matching gold T-shirts, and we just harassed everybody. Like we had no business winning, but we just harassed everybody to the point where
they hated coming to play y'all.
They hated coming to play us, and they could not perform. Like we tormented the other team. Like we'd find out. We did a little bit of research. We'd find out. We'd exploit some things. We had nicknames for everybody. Like this one kid, he had a bowl cut and goggles. Poor guy. He wasn't. We had one guy named Cranium. His name was Michael Crane, and he had a large head, so we called him Cranium.
Oh, that joke wrote itself. That was too easy.
I mean, some of them write themselves. Like this dude had like size 5 shoes. We called him Alicia Keys because he looked like Alicia Keys.
Oh wow!
So
Corey and them were the kids that the kid's dog died like 2 days before the game. Hey, number 5, we heard your dog died. Like in the middle of the game.
That's savage research.
I don't know if we went to those links, but we had a cardboard cutout. Like, Kevin Garnett was doing like this whole like milk campaign, the Got Milk campaign, so we stole him from the lunchroom, put a shirt on him and carried him around. Let's see. Do not airball around us. We'll let you know. We got this kid benched for an entire game because he airballed once and we didn't let him forget it. So he had a wide open shot in transition, and we're just yelling airball No, he didn't even shoot it. He got so scared he passed it off, and his coach got mad at him, yelled at him, and took him out. I mean, every time he touched the ball, we would scream airball, airball, airball until he passed it, and we'd stop.
Yeah.
Then he'd get it back, airball. Airball, then he passed it again. Yeah, it was crazy.
Man, those are fun. That's what I hate about Georgia games because you see like Cameron Indoor and like you go to North Carolina, Kentucky, and you see the fans in there. I remember being in high school too. The police had to come down because our student section was actually crazy. So the police had to come down and stand in front of us like while we were doing it because we were like Cameron Indoor, like we're right on top of you, in Tifton. So, I mean, that the crowd and to see what Kentucky did to Kansas and take the crowd out of it, I mean, it means a lot. So maybe Georgia can get there one day on the boys' side because on the girls' side,
they travel. They travel too. I remember Joni making a statement about that. They traveled. So, but maybe we'll have a get well game here pretty soon. I'll give you guys the slate here in just a minute. But our recap from the weekend, Missouri got just completely outclassed. Again, I say again. Arkansas beating up on West Virginia. Ole Miss getting in the win column. Somebody's definitely fired because they are not 10-4 in conference. Just throttling Kansas State. The Florida Gators getting themselves a big win over Oklahoma State, which is actually a respectable team in that conference. And then South Carolina A&M playing a conference game. South Carolina getting the best of Texas A&M, which is kind of a shock because South Carolina is bad.
Yeah.
Not quite bad as Georgia, but they are bad. So
Texas A&M was supposed to be decent. Their record was good, but they hadn't really played anybody. And now Kentucky went down there and won, and Now they're tripping up against South Carolina. So but the SEC won the SEC Big 12 Challenge.
There you go.
They got the better of the Texases and the Oklahomas and all that. So the SEC gets that. So.
That's good.
I see
those bragging
SEC.
rights.
Okay.
See? Dominating 2 sports now. Everybody's probably losing their mind. So tomorrow's slate of games, A&M versus Tennessee, South Carolina, Mississippi State. You got the Iron Bowl on the court, and you got Ole Miss, LSU tomorrow. Those are the SEC games tomorrow. On Wednesday, you got Arkansas, Georgia, Vandy, Kentucky, and Florida, Missouri. So those ought to be interesting as well. Arkansas, I missed their 40 minutes of hell. I really wish they'd go back to that.
Man,
I love that.
Yeah. As long as they wasn't playing Kentucky, I like those Nolan Richardson teams, and it was absolute wars when they would play Kentucky. It was like mirror image. Both of them pressing full court. Wearing you down. It was like looking in the mirror, and those were some battles when they first came to SEC with Pitino in Kentucky and Nolan Richardson at Arkansas. Man, it was they had a squad, man. They were the grown men. I mean, Corliss Williams was a grown man. So
yes, he was
on campus at Arkansas. Yep. I don't know if y'all saw the documentary. Well, the SEC Network's version of a 30 for 30.
Yeah, 40 minutes of hell.
Yeah, and they were playing UNLV. Arkansas was playing UNLV with Grandmama and Stacey Augmon and those guys. And Larry Johnson went up and dunked one, I think, and he looked at Nolan and said, "You better get you some grown men." And so that's when Nolan went and got Corliss and all and all those guys that got it started with the run he made at Arkansas after playing that UNLV squad the year before. He went and got him some grown men.
Dang. Grandmama. People don't appreciate him enough.
No.
That guy's awesome, man. I love me some Grandmama.
Basketball.
And when he was in Charlotte, people remember him with the Knicks when he had the beard, he was old, he was gray. But explosive Larry with Charlotte, when he first was in the league. Well, I'm a little older than y'all. I'm telling my age now.
Jam.
Yeah.
He was, man. Just imagine being a kid watching all that stuff and just falling in love with the game of basketball because of people like Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon. Shaq was coming into the fold. Grandmama was coming into the fold. You had Reggie Miller. You had those, some of those stars that were on the rise in the late 80s. Or,
Sean Kemp,
Gary Payton, Sean Kemp.
Vinny Hardaway, Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys that
Stockton and Malone, Duncan, David Robinson, the Dream Team. Watching the Dream Team in the Olympics. Being in Atlanta when the Dream Team round 2 came through, it's just, it was like those games were wars, man.
They were.
Like, so I hate to be like, get off my lawn and everything, but that's like when basketball was really good.
And we on Beast of the East. And y'all, and I'm not just saying this because y'all Georgia guys, but Dominique Wilkins is my favorite all-time NBA player ever. I mean, I'm a TBS kid, so it was the Braves. Dale Murphy was my dude, and it was the Hawks. So Dominique was my guy, and I was a Hawks fan until they traded him for Danny Manning. I'm still pissed off about it because it makes no sense. And I never dropped the team. Every team I picked, I stuck with them. But when I was in like sophomore algebra class, and they had turned on SportsCenter, and they were talking about in trade rumors. It was like Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann. The Hawks are shopping Dominique Wilkins. I was like, what? Just coming off of that torn Achilles and still hooping? And it's not like Kevin Durant with today's medicine. He comes back hooping. This back in the 90s, he came back balling off of that Achilles. I mean, and y'all already know, y'all from Georgia. They never put anybody around him anyway. Who was
John Koncak? Really?
Who was Dominique's Scottie Pippen? Who was Dominique's
Spud Webb.
You
Spud,
Spud.
Spud Webb and Tree Rollins.
Yeah, right. Doc Rivers was so.
Man.
You had Stacey Augmon. You had Mookie Blaylock. You had Kevin Willis. Moses Malone was past his prime when he was in there. He never had a true Robin, a tag team partner, and he was going up against all these other teams.
They still took Boston to 7 games in like 1988. They still made deep runs in the playoffs. They ran into Jordan like a million times in the playoffs, and that sucked for them.
The 5 one time in the first round. Took Isaiah Thomas and them to 5 games, and so he comes back, and then you trade him not to anybody good. But the Clippers wasn't Lob City and Blake Griffin back then. The Clippers were the laughingstock of the world, and you traded him to the Clippers for Danny Manning, who I get it. He was good at Kansas, led them to a title. Danny Manning comes in, and they supposedly get younger. They barely got the first round that year with Danny Manning, lost in the second round, and Danny Manning left and went to Phoenix. He was just a rental. He wasn't about to stay. So what do you have to show for that move? Nothing.
Not a daggum thing.
No.
And then eventually you get to Kimbe and, to go with Mookie and Augmon and Steve Smith. And it's Atlanta sports. Just pathetic. Pathetic front office management.
I'm still
man, Jake Thomas with the comment. Yes, you're exactly right. The 90s and 2000s were some of the best basketball I've ever seen.
Because you had the mentality of the 80s with the star power of the 90s and early 2000s.
Yes.
Like that's like the best blend of today's star power and the old school physicality. Now the physicality is gone.
You were bleeding and missing teeth.
Just go watch a reel of fouls. Just go watch any Pistons game.
It's a foul.
Go to former UK player Rex Chapman. Go to his Twitter. Look at his pinned tweet. He's put NBA stood for No Babies Allowed, and it's like a 2-minute clip.
Yes.
Look at Rex's pinned tweet from back when he played, and he was going up against Jordan and all them dudes, and yeah, he was in there too. He was with, speaking of Charlotte, he was there with Dale Curry and Muggsy Bogues and Alonzo Mourning and those dudes. Yeah, so.
BJ Armstrong who poked the bear.
Little baby face BJ, man. Look 9 years old out there.
I know. Just
those were the days.
The jersey's too big, his name's too long, so it like wraps around. You can't. That's funny. So, but those are the times, man. I could talk 90s basketball for a long, long time, but we don't have that kind of time. So let's talk NFL. Let's go off topic. Those games this weekend were absolutely outstanding. We talked about Israel and I hitting on those, and we talked about kind of how it got started. But I mean, like, it just comes down to the Chiefs got up 21-3. Cincinnati did not panic, and honestly, and you can point out 3, 4, 5 key plays in every game that make the difference. And the biggest one of the weekend was that stop on the goal line at the end of the first half. Kansas City, they score there. It's 28-3, and we're probably looking at a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl. And Mahomes is probably out in the fourth quarter, chilling.
Yes.
But I forget who exactly it was, but Tyreek Hill got stoned at the goal line.
Eli Apple.
Eli Apple, yeah. Got
the one play that he made the whole entire game. And then tried to call Tyreek Hill a baby. And I was like, bro, you had one play. You couldn't stop him all day.
Bro, you were burnt toast the entire way. Yeah.
Yes. That play and the play when Joe Burrow they didn't sack Joe Burrow and he got out and threw the pass to Jamar Chase. That to me was because it was third down. It was over with. And
Joe Burrow.
He snuck out. Actually, he made 2. He threw that one to Jamar. And a couple of drives later, he actually ran for a first down too. Which actually saved them as well. So, I mean, for the defenses to play as well as for the Bills to give up that many, not the Bills, but the Chiefs to give up that many points last game and to come back this game and play as well as they did with the Bengals and shut down the passing game pretty much the whole first half is pretty good. But, I mean, Joe Shiesty, You know,
what is it about
what
him?
he does.
What can you point to?
He's got the it factor for me. It's not. He's not the most athletic kid. You know, he doesn't have the biggest arm, but you know he's going to give you 100 million per 1,000% everything he's got. Everything he's got, he's just going to do it. I mean, he's going to run through a brick wall. I mean, the not the kids, but the players trust him. I mean, how many quarterbacks get knocked down 9 times and get back up and just like, all right, we're fine. Let's go out here and play. I mean, most quarterbacks, we saw what Tom Brady got hit in the face one time and he was about to cry. So, I mean, imagine if he got hit 9 times.
Yeah, imagine if Brady played against the Titans that game. Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
I don't know what would happen.
I mean, for him to do what he does and to lead the team, I mean, you saw him after the game. He wasn't worried about an interview. He was trying to congratulate his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that just shows you what kind of guy he is. And we saw that at LSU, though. So
yeah, we did. I mean, the guy's just a winner, man. He just has. I think when you look at actual skills, you know, the intangibles are off the charts for a guy like Joe Burrow, and he just gets the complete trust of his teammates. And his teammates know that he's going to make the play, so they're going to play really, really hard for him. He's got great leadership skills, and you know, I credit him a lot with carrying that LSU team, I should say, not those LSU teams, but that LSU team. But one of the things he has is he has uncanny pocket awareness. He understands. You could blindfold him, and he could get out of pressure for the most part.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, any quarterback
like the Spidey sense goes off, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get the hell up out of here."
Exactly, and he knows exactly where to go. He's got great pocket awareness, great pocket feel. He knows when to climb. He knows when to bail. He knows he's just really good at that. And of course, every quarterback's going to get overwhelmed and taken down. I mean, even the best. I mean, Mahomes was running around back there too some, but they
they did a good job of with Mahomes. They didn't let him get upfield while he was scrambling.
Right.
They kept him in the backfield, or they kept him somewhere where he couldn't do a whole lot of damage, which was very smart by them. Their DC, I mean, he did a great job. That was a really good game plan. I mean, it's hard to stop the horses they got, but when they did, it came in key situations, and they attacked and didn't let up.
Well, what I loved about Cincinnati was they figured it out. Like they knew they were going to take a shot. AFC Championship on the road, Arrowhead Stadium. They knew they were going to take a shot.
Yeah. It was attacked that left side.
Yeah, and they did. And then all of a sudden, they start figuring it out. They start making stops. They make another stop and another stop and another stop. And it wasn't till late in the third that Kansas City got a field goal, or actually late in the fourth. Like they held them out for the vast majority of the second half. And man, it was, I mean, you talk about a good game plan. They had a great game plan, but they adjusted really well because initially you're thinking, oh, here we go. Cincinnati not ready. But, yeah. Alabama blood blot clot yank. What the hell?
And somebody's Jamaican trying to talk to you.
Yeah, man. What in the hell?
Somebody's Jamaican drunk uncle had too many red stripes, and he is now in the chat.
Hooray, beer!
Yeah, man, hooray, beer. Jamaica, we have a bobsled team.
Yes, that's when I read it. I was like, somebody's Jamaican uncles are on this chat right about now. As soon as I read that.
Oh man.
Oh.
Okay. Well, Karuna, we're just having a little fun at your expense. It's all good. I'll Google it, maybe. Just Google it. It's gonna be that porn video I tried to send Israel before.
I told you exactly what it was gonna be. When they tell you just Google it, it's like, nah, don't do it. It's a trap.
Yes, well, but yeah, we get a virus. Yeah, exactly.
I Google it. Next thing you know, SWAT teams coming through my window.
The phone just melts.
Yep. Your phone.
Been like, Corey, there's a guy with a gun standing behind you with a helmet on with SWAT across his chest.
You're screwed.
We'll see you later.
Well, that's all, folks. You see me get arrested.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
But here's a real question from this weekend.
It's a footballer.
Number 18 from the Rams, did he get cut on Monday? Did he get cut today from that touchdown pass he dropped? Wide butt, booty naked in the end zone, and it hit him in the face.
Are you talking about budget Cooper Cup?
Yes.
The budget version? Kirkland brand Cooper Cup?
Yeah. It's the Dollar General version of Cooper Cup because that was terrible.
Yeah, that was bad.
He was bad. But can we talk about how good Cooper Cup is? Like the Hunter Renfrows and the Cooper Cups of the world, Beasley. I mean, you go back to Edelman and Amendola, all those guys. I mean,
Dola, Wes Welker.
Of course, you got your
Wayne Crabette. There's a deep cut.
Yeah, that's way back. Aaron Crouch before he decided to leave. I mean, you just think about these guys and what they do and how well they do it. I mean, it's just crazy because you always have your Randy Mosses and all those guys are your big name guys, but then you got this little kid come in and just
Adam Thielen.
Ball.
Yeah.
Ball. I mean, anytime you got to guard him, and he's always open. There's nothing to do. He's always open. I mean, he's breaking people off and making them fall.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Crazy what he's doing.
Yeah, it's not like he had a rough go coming into the league, but I think he's one of those that just kind of really honed his craft to not only just be a serviceable receiver in an explosive offense, he became the guy.
Yes.
And when I say the guy, he is the offense. And then when you go league wide, he is the guy.
Yeah. They're talking about it for MVP this year. And he got it's not exaggerated.
He balled with Jake Goff. Got Matt Stafford in there. Now look what he's doing. He caught a pass the other night. He ran a slant, and Stafford put it on the money. But I mean, the way he ran the route and what he did after he caught. I mean, I'm just like, I'm gonna teach my kids how to do this. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to have like size and speed and stuff like that, but just the way he runs the route, he is a wide receiver. That's what you want. He's a route runner. That's what he does, and I love it.
The play he made against Tampa Bay last week just went through that secondary. It was like a knife through butter. It was like they wasn't even.
Number 31 is still having nightmares from seeing Cooper Cup run by him.
He runs by him. He's like, yeah, I'm getting cut. He's like, okay. So long, Tampa.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like this. It's like, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Well, it all started when I was looking in the backfield, and this guy just ran right by me. Like the camera freezes on him. It's like, I bet you're wondering how I got here.
At this point, it's when I knew I effed up.
Yes. I'm about to be Coach 30 right now.
That's exactly what he was thinking. He's like, okay, make sure there's no actual pee stains down my leg. Okay, all right.
And he's my boy Matt Stafford's finally made it. Finally made it after getting destroyed in Detroit for so long. I just
after being in an NFL prison. Yeah. NFL prison, Detroit.
And first year, it's already paying off for McVay. Right to the Super Bowl.
Can we also talk about the owner for the Rams and how he's just like somebody's grandpa? He's out there like, I mean, appreciate it, but give it to these guys. I just provide the funds.
What's up, Stacy? Yeah, he's like, I just write the checks, man. I'm just a regular old billionaire who spent $4 billion on this stadium that we're about to play another game in.
See, Jerry Jones, take note. That's going back to my Cowboys fan, but Jerry, just sit down and write your check and sit down. Been saying that for I don't know how many years.
Hey,
Well,
talk to your
CD
coaches.
just got in the Pro Bowl.
That's what he wants.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
CD's in the Pro Bowl. Sweet.
Oh.
CD's in the Pro
He
Bowl.
deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
I see a headline. I open up a new tab in Microsoft Edge and I see a headline. The world reacts to the CD Lamb news. I'm like, oh boy, what did CD Lamb do? And I open it up and he just got invited to the Pro Bowl.
That's good. That's what Jerry Jones needs to do. Be like my man from the Rams. Sean McVay said, "This is who I want. Can we get him?" Yes.
And
I'm just
Kroenke
gonna sit
said,
up here and enjoy
how much is it
myself.
going to cost? He's like, luxury tax, screw it. How much is it going to cost me? Okay, that's nothing.
A couple of first rounders. I mean, we good. Everybody on that team is young. If you really
Cool.
think about it.
First rounders, cool. We'll be picking 32 anyway. Give it to them. Yeah,
That's
they don't.
crazy.
They don't care.
No, they don't.
Deshaun.
Although go ahead.
I was gonna say they Deshaun Jackson was like having a bitch fit, and they said he's like, man, I want to go to a place that's gonna throw me the ball. The Rams are like, all right, cool,
All right, cool.
beat it,
Whatever.
whatever. All right, whatever floats your boat, I guess. What's up, Stacy? Jake, I'm glad we have two former SEC quarterbacks. Yep, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really good game. It is not this weekend, but next weekend, right? Or next week.
Yep.
It's gonna be good.
Stafford didn't go through hell in Dallas. It was
Nope.
Detroit, Stacy. Detroit
Mm-hmm.
Lions.
We does he want to come to Dallas? Because I mean, we'll take him.
Yeah.
And they're right. Ain't that right, Vinny? We'll take him right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Y'all aren't that guys anymore.
I love that. I love
still
that,
like that.
but something just not clicking.
Mm-hmm.
The play call has been bad either. I mean, been pretty bad the last couple of games too. So I mean, it's not all on him, but damn.
Well, y'all getting ready to get Sean McVay anyway. Not Sean McVay. Sean Payton.
Yeah. He can come on too. Come on down.
But here's the thing, though. McCarthy's not a bad coach when he's actually coaching, but he's not coaching. He just stands there with his arms folded.
Been holding the thing all weird.
I don't understand. You have a great defense coordinator. I think Dan Quinn is a really good defense coordinator. I think he had everybody in the right places in the wild card game. So that wasn't the issue. It's the fact that we couldn't cross the 50, and we had 13,000 penalties in one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of penalties, I hear.
Randy Gregory's still in the neutral zone right now.
He's holding linemen, like giving them hugs. I mean, we all know he's had his struggles and everything, but just hugging people, I mean, you can't do that during a football game, my guy.
Is that bad? It's not good. It's not good.
I'm just trying to show my feelings.
I like Dak too, Stacey. I do.
I do. Yeah, I love that. I actually do love that.
For the people that remember they kept trying to make everybody believe that Carson Wentz and Jared Goff was better, and they both been traded. So, I do like Dak. It took Dak the longest to get paid, but because everybody swore him down. Carson Wentz was better. Oh, okay. All right, then.
Well, now it's time for Dak to earn that money now.
Yes.
Now he has to go out and earn it. Now he has to win some playoff games. Now he has to put up some better stats and be more consistent. And for the sake of my dynasty team, throw the damn ball to CD Lamb.
Just be more consistent. Like, God dang. Like, if you look at Stafford, let's take Stafford and Mahomes and Burrow. They throw the ball. They don't give a dang who is there. When they make their read, they just let it ride. Dak holds it, makes a sandwich, builds a picnic, and then we get sacked. So there's that.
There is that.
I'm not mad at picks. Throw a pick. I don't care. Just if you're making the right read, throw a pick. I mean, it is what it is. But that gun, throw it.
I know. I mean, plenty of people throw picks in the NFL. It's not, I mean, dang, that's not anything. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to throw a pick. I mean, Christ's sake, Jimmy G threw 3 picks in that game and still figured out a way to win.
Jesus. It should have been 4. It should have been a pick 6, but Ramsey dropped it.
Yeah, that was
Hit him dead in the chest.
hit him right in a worse spot. Who has a better career, Burrow or Herbert? That's a good question, Stacy. I'm going to say Burrow because he's about to win a dang Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going to go Burrow on this one, but Herbert has done a lot with less over there.
I love Herbert
in San Diego. So
I love me some Herbert. Herbert's good.
I like him though.
I'll go Burrow.
I think he's going to be real. I think his ceiling is really high.
Yeah, I just think I think Burrow's situation right now, and if you would ask me this a year ago, I would have said Herbert by a mile because I just didn't think the Bengals were a good organization, but they found the right coach. Now, if they would just get over their cheap ways and start paying some players a little bit.
Talking about Mike Brown now. Come on.
Yeah, I know, right? They could get some good pieces, but Zach Taylor is a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a tremendous job. Joe Burrow has the ability to carry a team. They have a good defensive line. They got pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about cheap ways. They're ahead of schedule because Burrow's on his rookie contract.
Mm-hmm.
That rookie contract is going to be up. You gotta start paying him. You got to start paying his young nucleus, and that's when it gets real interesting for Bengals fans. So congratulations for ending your playoff drought. First of all, beating the Raiders. Nobody really saw you beating the Titans, and you kept it going. Nobody saw you beating the Chiefs, and so they parlayed.
Whoa! I did.
Okay,
yeah, I did.
All right. Okay.
To your counterparts, Vinny. We saw it. We've seen enough Joe Burrow to know.
I apologize to both of y'all. But when it's time to pay Burrow and then, it's not as much money to throw around, that's when it gets real interesting for the cheap
Burrow.
Cincinnati Bengals. That's what I'm saying. So
the next
enjoy this rookie contract window. And being better than everybody thought you'd be when you was just 4-12 last year, because then when it's time to ante up, I don't know. Talking about Mike Brown here.
Joe Burrow, Jerry Jones on line one.
Yes, that
we're going to see that.
And then the Raiders. Speaking of the Raiders, didn't they pick up McDaniel today?
They did. Speaking of Hunter Renfrow.
Is he gonna go? Because he's a runaway coach now. We've seen him have a job before.
They said
he's there.
Like he's committed to it.
I'm just saying, he got that Julia Roberts runaway bride tendencies.
Now, there's a deep cut right there. Runaway bride.
Josh had a job before and decided not to. I'm just saying.
Wasn't it the Lions though? No. Where was he going?
Yeah,
Colts.
He's going.
I understand that one too.
I think he's already signed on, hasn't he?
I guess he's going to go through with this one. I'm just throwing shade because of what he did last time. Because it's
all right, man.
Opportunity presented itself.
Facts. Facts.
The door was. He threw the alley. He was just looking for the dunk. Nothing wrong with it.
But everybody's also thinking that nobody knows when Belichick's going to retire. He don't have a timetable, and he's he can't wait for the Patriots gig no more. He's like, I need to go on, get my own gig because I can't wait for Bill.
Hate to break it to you, but he's hired. It's official. The Rams blue check mark account. Not the Rams. I keep saying the Rams. The Raiders blue check mark has announced him. The NFL blue check mark has announced him as the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And the happiest person in that locker room is none other than Hunter Renfrow. He is excited.
Look at that. Welker Edelman treatment now.
Yes, he is.
Hey, guys.
More rings.
Real quick.
I think Mahomes will get more rings.
He will.
Yeah.
He will.
Eventually. Well, because they are not going to pay Burrow unless he comes to Dallas.
No, they're not. They're not. Come to Dallas. Come to Dallas. Burrow. Yeah, I think Mahomes ultimately. But so listen here. We got a new sponsor, Masterworks. Masterworks. This is the GOAT read here. So what I'm about to say might shock you, but the greatest quarterback of all time is not just a GOAT on the field. He's a GOAT when it comes to investing. He invests in stocks, crypto, and even art. Now you can invest like the GOAT with Masterworks. Masterworks is the investing platform that lets you buy shares representing an investment in art forms and art from icons like Picasso, Monet, and Warhol. And even great, art price outpaced the S&P 500 by 164% from 1992 to 2021. In fact, the early investors already received over 30% IRR in 2020 and 2021 from the sale of 2 paintings. This is your opportunity to join 300,000 other members and invest like the GOAT. Get priority access with their game day promo. So go to masterworks.art/Bleav. That's masterworks.art/Bleav. Bleav is BLEAV. That's masterworks.art/Bleav. See important disclosures at masterworks.art/disclaimer. Masterworks. Invest like the GOAT. So that's interesting. You can buy a piece of art. Stacy, go buy you a piece of art before you get out of here. But will you get 7 like Brady? I don't think anybody's going to get 7 like Brady. Will they? Speaking of the GOAT.
I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a feat, and I mean, you got to be a different kind of person to do that, to lead. I mean, not only just Brady, just that whole entire organization themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a whole lot to do what they did.
It's a well-oiled machine, I'll tell you that. So, but anyway, guys, it is getting late. It's getting late early, especially for you, Israel, and Vinny on the Eastern time zone.
Central time, guys.
Oh, I'm Eastern too.
I think I'm the only Central time guy here.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it is. It's only 10 o'clock. I got another 6 hours. No, I'm just kidding. Well, the good news, here's how I even it out. Huck wakes up at like 4 in the morning. So
my son will wake up in about an hour.
Ready to party?
Yeah, and then I'll lay him back down.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'll wake up to an iPad hitting me in the face.
Oh man.
Where he comes up, like tries to jump up on the bed and like smacks me with the iPad, wanting to turn it on so he can watch Mickey.
Dad, it's time. I'm ready.
Dad, here's the iPad. I roll over. I'm like, Huck, it's like 2:30 in the morning. What are you doing? What are you doing?
No one cares. No one cares. Get up.
he's like, on. He starts doing this, on.
Mm-hmm.
So, man. But yeah, so we are the Beast of the East podcast. If you're wondering, follow us at Coach Burton 36, at Vinny Hardy, at TroupeStar28 on Twitter, Instagram. Follow me at Burton.Corey. Follow them at the same handles there. At Bleav in Dogs on all social media platforms. At Bleav in Kentucky as well. At YCN_SEC. At Bleav Podcast. Those are the places you can follow and see us at. If you want to check out more content from not only us, but the Bleav Podcast Network as well. Also on the Y'all's Conference Network side of it. You catch me on right here on Beast of the East. You also catch me on SEC After Dark. Catch Vinny on Bleav in Kentucky and Cats Talk. And then catch Israel and I each and every week on the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast. And you'll see us individually doing our little rants. I think I'm in the naming phase of that segment, so stay tuned for that. You'll see me go on my little short rant, and same with Twitter. Same with Twitter. Troupe's Twitter thoughts. I don't know if that's your official name, but he's going to be like, it's going to be like live tweeting, but just from not Twitter. He's not going to use his thumbs. He's going to go old school and use this thing.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be real fun. So I'm excited to see those, and I'm hoping I see the same reactions. That'd be fun. And then, of course, they can come and check us out here as well. So be on the lookout for that stuff. That's kind of that's kind of the content dump there, I should say. And then, of course, Illegal Motion. We're on a little break on Illegal Motion, but we're going to come back better than ever here a little bit after signing day. So stay tuned to that as well. I can't think of any other podcast I'm on. I think I've named just about all of them. It's not a lot. Just one every day of the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A different one every day of the week.
Uh-huh.
Gets kind of tricky with the time and being meticulous with that. So, but it's all good. It is all good.
You like Steve Harvey. You everywhere, Corey.
Hey, it's the only way I can build a brand out of nowhere. I don't have a following. I don't have the following of Big Blue Nation like you do, Vinny. I'm not as well tapped in like my man Israel. I've got to build this brand. Israel's got himself Israel's turning into a celebrity. Speaking at coaching clinics, he's doing the podcast tour himself almost. I think there was a week, Israel, where you knew what it felt like to be me doing all these podcasts.
I'm just a regular dude. I'm just here.
Yeah,
I'm just here.
I'm riding your coattails instead of the other way around. So. Y'all are like Kirk and Dez, and I'm Reese Davis. I don't know which one of you are Kirk. Yeah,
we're behind the scenes guys.
I'm like Stockton. Y'all are like Malone. I just lay it up there. Y'all slam it home. I'm the alley-oop guy. And the hype man. I'm the hype man. I'm the guy that's going to play some defense, get a few rebounds, and just get in your head.
Slap the floor.
Slap the floor a little bit.
I ain't seen nobody slap the floor in a long time.
Yeah, I guess they're hitting the gritty instead.
Yo, even Brian Kelly hit it yesterday or day before.
Oh boy. Oh, Brian Kelly
with his Bayou family.
He's really involved in the family. I do declare.
Doing my gritty with my Bayou family.
I do declare. I'm doing this new dance called the gritty.
I'm learning it right now.
Apparently, you just tap your feet, man. Where's my sweet tea?
I'm blending right in. I'm blending right in, y'all.
I fit right in. They're welcoming me. Meanwhile, everybody's laughing at him. That's great. Brian Kelly, bless his heart.
BK, boy.
Oh, BK. All right, guys. That's all we got, man. We are the Beasts of the East. For Vinny, for Israel, and Corey. So long. We'll see you back here next week.
Appreciate it.
Peace out.
See you later.
See y'all.